You know, all my life I wondered how Washington pundits make the decision on who is and is not electable. I've often disagreed with them and couldn't figure out for the life of me what they were thinking. Well, now that I'm one of those pundits, in a manner of speaking, I drive myself crazy. No, I've at least figured out a little bit as to why they make the decisions that they do. First of all, of course, it's the money. A guy like Newt Gingrich has raised $32 million. So he's announcing today that he's going to run for president. And everybody looks at that $32 million and goes, wow. So he's got to be a legitimate, incredible candidate. Now, I know why they say that, because money buys you ads, and then ads let you deceive the American people into voting for you. That's usually how it works. But at the same time, you have to be reasonable. Newt Gingrich has no chance of winning. Now, why do I say that? Is it because I dislike Newt? No, of course not. It has to do with, again, the numbers, but a different number. 42% of Americans say that they would never vote for Newt Gingrich. Never. You're not going to overcome that. People deeply dislike Newt Gingrich, and there are many reasons why. For example, prosecuting and persecuting Bill Clinton for having an affair while he was having an affair. The 3 different wives, the 2 different mistresses that we know of, and the list goes on and on. The man is deeply unpopular. I don't care how much money he has. So I think the pundits have to get beyond this, like, oh my God, he's got money. Oh, then he's got to be a real contender. That is not the case here. Now, the other guy that I think the pundits take far too seriously is Tim Pawlenty. Now, everybody knows Donald Trump is a clown, right? But look at the latest Quinnipiac poll. Now, this was done at the end of April, beginning of May, and you've got, Romney up top, Huckabee coming in second. Trump is at 12%. Tim Pawlenty is at an embarrassing 4%. He's still tripling Pawlenty, even after all the different things he's gone through. Now, there's been polls since then that showed the same exact thing. Trump is falling and falling, but he's still way above, 2 to 3 times higher than Tim Pawlenty. So I'm figuring, why do these Washington guys love Tim Pawlenty? Why do they keep talking about this incredibly irrelevant candidate? Well, I figured that out too. It turns out that they've talked to people like Pawlenty, they've met them, and which people outside of television and outside of Washington haven't, and they realize, oh, okay, well, this guy's not a lunatic. And in the Republican field, that's, score 1 for Pawlenty. They're like, wow, he stands out. He's somewhat intelligent and not totally crazy like Michelle Bachmann and some of the others. But that doesn't mean you're going to win. That man has electrified like 2.5 people in his entire career. What's his record? What's his accomplishments? All we know is, oh, he was governor in a blue state. But what did he do? And no one could ever name it. The only thing they could ever name is cap and trade. And now he's running away from cap and trade because that's a progressive position. So he has a negative record. Look, I've seen the speeches. Bachmann goes to speak, and I'm not against long shot candidates. I'm not dismissing them. I think Bachmann's crazy. Can she win? I don't know. Let's see. Let's find out. I know when she goes to speak, the Republicans go crazy. Wild applause. When Pawlenty speaks, you could hear a pin drop. That man has never excited anyone in his entire life. So, look, it's a note, I guess, to fellow Washington pundits these days. It's not about who you like. It's not about who you think would make for a good president. You have to look at who do the American people like, and in this case, who the people in the Republican primary voters think they would vote for. And it ain't Newt Gingrich, and it ain't Tim Pawlenty.